Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Today, the movie I'm reviewing is Abominable. This movie is rated PG. It's 1 hour and 37 minutes. And the Movie Review Mom grade that I gave it is an A minus. DreamWorks presents a very beautiful and sweet animated film that features a magical Yeti who takes some human friends on a journey to his home on Mount Everest. In fact, originally, this movie was going to be called Mount Everest. This abominable Yeti looks like a mix between a fluffy dog that's giant, of course, and a huggable bear. He's very cute and cute enough that I think merchandising will be pretty popular. Kids are going to want to buy one of these little stuffed Yetis to snuggle with. He's a cute character. He hums. He does this low, deep hum. I can't even do it. Anyway, he does this little humming. He conveniently understands English, and he even has some magical powers that really lend for a very magical movie. Like I said, it's just very sweet. It'll make you feel good and happy when you watch it with your family. This movie is actually being offered in 4DX at Regal Cinemas, which is usually where I see movies. If I don't get a preview of the movie ahead of time and I watch it on opening day, that's where I'll go. So shout out to Regal Cinemas, although they're not a sponsor, although they should be at my channel. But anyway, I don't know if you've ever been to a 4DX movie, but it's amazing. So it's kind of like when you go to a theme park and you're in one of those special seats that jiggles you around while you're watching a 3D movie. It's like that, but more. It actually squirts water on you, but you can actually turn off that setting if you don't want to get wet. But wait, there's more. It actually ejects odors during the movie if there's a scene that calls for it. And sometimes they're good odors, sometimes they're bad. But I've always wished I could see smell-o-vision, when I watch TV or watch a movie. So you get to experience that. It's pretty awesome. However, all of that fun comes with a pretty hefty price tag. It's about $25. So you definitely don't have to see this movie in 4DX. It adds to it. Even 3D adds to or enhances the just the beauty of the animation. But just seeing it as a regular movie is also plenty good. So some quick tips for parents are that you might need to explain to young children what a tranquilizer gun is. It's used a few times in the movie, and I don't want them to be fearful that, creatures are being killed, just that it's making them fall asleep. So just a heads up on that. Some animals or creatures and people are in peril. Some adults and children will be equally entertained. I mentioned already that it's definitely a family-friendly film with no profanity or offensive content. So yay for that. And then your child may want to actually learn how to play the violin after they watch this movie, because music actually plays a very large part and a magical role in this movie. And music is magical, and they handle it really, really well. It's very, very sweet. Some other very positive themes are, even though you can't see something doesn't mean that it's not there. Protection of nature and wildlife. Nothing is impossible. Your journey is never over. Adventure, the importance of family. And then there's just a little taste of grief when certain loved ones are apart. And I think that that's handled in really good taste as well. Now, some things that I really liked about the movie is, first of all, it's very heartwarming, it's inspiring, and it's even funny. It has a nice balance of all of those things. The landscapes are stunning, and I was most excited, or the thing that I was most excited about this movie was going to China. I've been there quite a few times on business, and I was able to mix business with pleasure and got to see a lot of the country during each of my trips. And I just adore the beauty of China and the tradition and the nature, and of course the landscapes. So you get to see all of that. If you've never been to China and you watch this movie, you're probably going to want to go to China. But it actually starts, first of all, in Hong Kong, which I've been there just a couple of times, but one of my sons recently married a lovely girl from Hong Kong. So it was really fun to see the movie start off with a young girl in Hong Kong and to see all the hustle and bustle of that huge, impressive city. And one element that I thought was really fun is they say something like, well, what is that? Oh, it's 8 o'clock. It's the laser light show, which is what they do in Hong Kong every night. And in fact, actually, I think it starts at 8:05. At least the last two times I was there, it didn't start 8 o'clock on the dot, but 8:05. But they had this coordinated laser show between a bunch of the skyscrapers. And it's so cool. Anyway, they actually built that into the story, which I loved. And it's a story about a family in Hong Kong. And the grandma makes these delicious looking pork buns. And just so many of the little features of Hong Kong are in this movie, which I thought was awesome. And then, as I mentioned, going into China itself. So, one of the other things I was really excited to see in this movie was the world's largest Buddha. It's real. It looks unreal because it's just so amazing. And I got to actually go there. I'm showing you some pictures of one of my sons that I was traveling with. And when we actually got on a little river boat and it took us down the river so we could look up at the statue that's built into the mountain. And it was just bigger than life. I mean, the statue is huge and it's everything exotic that you would want it to be. Anyway, that's in the movie and I just loved that. And so many other places that are featured in the movie I've been to, which made it just so much more exciting for me at least. Anyway, I think that you'll really love the magic of China. Uh, China, by the way, has a huge market, as you can imagine, for movies, and Hollywood knows it. And so you may have noticed a lot of collaboration between Hollywood and China studios. In the case of this movie, it's called Pearl Studio in China. So there are a lot of actual Chinese actors and Chinese backgrounds and stories and all of that, which is actually really great. So you can definitely see that collaboration in the movie. Another thing that's kind of fun is Sarah Paulson is in the movie, and this is actually her very first time doing voice acting in a theatrically released animated film. I just think she's extremely talented. And in fact, I didn't recognize her voice at first, which I think is a compliment because she's that talented that she can camouflage her voice to meet the situation. I thought she did a really, really great job. And Chloe Bennett is also a newbie to voice acting in a theatrically released animated film. And she does a really great job as the lead. Her name is Yi. And some people have said that her voice is too mature for the character, but and we don't really know exactly the age of this character. It didn't bother me at all. In fact, I didn't even notice it so much, but I know people are talking about that. Some other things that I really thought were funny in this movie are the whooping snakes. Whoop, whoop. You have to see the movie to appreciate that, but it made me laugh out loud every time. Yes, there are certain cliches of characters, and the movie is pretty predictable in some ways. But this little whooping snake just got me every time. And not all of the humor lands, but this one did for whatever reason. You'll notice that Yetis kind of have been all of the rage recently. We have had 3 films in a year, actually, about Yetis. You can actually see my movie reviews on YouTube or go to my website, moviereviewmom.com, and read all of the movie review stuff that I have there. The first one was actually exactly 1 year ago today, called Smallfoot. And I thought it was pretty sweet. I actually think this one is sweeter, but you get to see more Yetis. And of course, they look different. But in Smallfoot, it's a totally different story. But if you're into the Yetis or your kids really like them, then I recommend that movie. And then the other one is Missing Link, which is by Leica. And the animation is very different. The story is totally, totally different. And it's cute, but it's not as cute, warm, fuzzy as this particular movie is. Some other things that I didn't particularly like is that it is formulaic and has cliched characters. Our feelings are definitely manipulated, and I guess that's to the credit of co-directors Jill Colton and Todd Wilderman. They know which buttons to push and how to do it. I liked the animation a lot, and I noticed that the characters had a definite look to them. For example, Yi's character, she's supposed to be a young girl, and she does look like a young girl, except she's got these like gigantic hips, more like me, like as a mother. So I just thought that that was interesting. Why didn't they make her more of a slender figure? I don't know. I just wish I had a slender figure. Maybe that's it. But then I also noticed everybody has these giant shoes, which are comical and stylistic. And I just thought it was interesting, kind of funny, I guess. Um, One thing that I noticed, that an earlier version of a trailer before the movie came out featured a violin version of the Fleetwood Mac song "Go Your Own Way," but it's never actually in the movie itself, and it's not even listed in the credits, which I thought was kind of odd. Um, some of the things are simply not explained in the story, so just don't get all worked up about the plot holes, because there are some, or how things actually are supposed to work, and that kind of stuff. Just enjoy it and enjoy the magic and being swept away into this fantasy type of land and music. Anyway, I thought it was very sweet. I left going, "Aw." And so if you want to share this with your family, I think that it'll be a really good time at the theater, or when it comes out on streaming, you'll enjoy it then as well. Anyway, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for always watching my videos and sticking to the bitter end. Hopefully it's not so bitter. My goal is to just help you find the best movies for you and your family, because movies are expensive nowadays, and your time is also valuable. Anyway, bye for now.